So yeah, hi! Welcome to, I don't know what number it is, could it be 17? Welcome anyway. Hi, how are you? Is everything okay? Hope so. I'm Maja. I'm knitting on, I'm just finishing up, I'm gonna show you this in a minute. Yeah, I'm Maja. You can find me as sjomajlin on Ravelry and on Instagram, and there is also a group for the podcast on Ravelry. It's called Sjomajlin Group. Join if you want to. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? As I said, I'm gonna just knit a little bit on this, as I'm telling you that I started working this week. I've been on sick leave for a month due to depression and anxiety and fatigue. Really. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling much better, even though I'm starting to realize that there is a lot of recovering that I need to do. And yeah, I started working this week. I'm working parts, or like half-time, or I'm half-time on sick leave. I don't know what you say. So I had a full day on Monday because we had like a staff meeting thing. And then I had a sort of intense day on Tuesday, and then I had Wednesday completely off, and then I did a singing job or gig yesterday. That was, yeah, this is Friday, by the way. This is Friday the 5th of December. So yesterday was Thursday, and I did a singing, like the first singing job that I've done in a month. So that was awesome. But also, yeah, I haven't been singing for like hours on end. That was just like a 45-minute gig though. But I have not been singing a couple of hours a day for the last month. So those muscles are not what they should be. And today I have the whole morning and a little bit more off, and then I'm gonna do a singing gig this afternoon. My Friday group that I've really been missing. Been missing them a lot. I have the same group every Friday afternoon. And there is they are amazing, all of them, but there's especially one young lady there who gets so happy when I'm there that she usually just has to jump up and down and laugh. And I mean, doesn't really matter how hard the work week was when you get that sort of what's the word? Reaction. So I'm going there this afternoon, and I'm really looking forward to that. So that is good, even though it's been a pretty overwhelming week for me. Starting to work again, and I do believe I picked up some sort of virus at the start of this week, so apologies if I'm gonna be all sneezing and sniffling, but what can I do? And I'm knitting out of picture, but I can't sit like this because my shoulders are gonna hurt. Something else that happened this week, I told you before, this is not, and it will never be, a political pod or vlog or whatever this is, but something happened in Sweden this week. I told you earlier this fall that we had elections in September. And we changed from left-wing to right-wing, and the third biggest party was a racist party, and that was sort of intense. This week they've had, and I don't really know all the details of it, but they had, like, the government had their, and I don't even know this word in English, like their financial plan, and they had to vote for it, and there is a lot of things going on. But what happened was that that racist party, the third biggest party, due to other stuff, it's not just their fault, but they sort of gridlocked it all. So we're gonna have re-elections nationally in March, and that has not happened. I think I heard somewhere that that has not been happening for like over 100 years or so. It's not something that usually happens. So it's been pretty dramatic in the news and in the, well, in those terms. Yeah, so much for holiday spirits. Yeah, craziness. What is better than that is knitting, right? I've been knitting a lot this week as well. I'm almost a little bit embarrassed for having so many finished objects, because I feel like this is not how it really is. At sort of the, well, beginning of this history of my podcast. Well, in September I wanted to finish some stuff before October started, so I had, well, sort of a deadline to finish stuff, and I did. And then for October, yeah, I made a pair of socks for my mom, the herbology socks or gardener socks, they had cables and lace, so they were a bit, well, they took some time. But the other socks that I made were just like plain vanilla socks, and so most of them I made on with pretty, what do you say, big needles and thick yarn, so they knit up very fast. So for October it didn't really take a lot to have finished objects each week. And now in November I've been on sick leave and had all the time I wanted to knit. And this is obviously December now, but I've been home a lot knitting this week as well, because I've been, as I said, I've only worked half time, and on Monday at work I was able to knit most of the day, because we were like we had some, not lecture, but people talking, and I just had to sit and listen, so I was able to knit. So I've had so much knitting time. I'm a little bit overwhelmed about, what's the right word? Well, I'm a little bit overwhelmed for having had so much knitting time and so much time to finish stuff. So I'm usually not really this quick of a knitter, even though I'm, well, I usually also work on like maybe 3 projects or so, and then I make sure to get them done. And I don't usually have, like, you know, hundreds or even tons of projects going on at the same time, and that also helps with getting them done, rather than, you know, just casting on new and yeah, and then having like a finishing spree, because I spread it out more evenly. So this week I'm just gonna bind off these stitches here, and I'll show you that in a minute. I did finish the sweater that I made. It was almost done last week. It's a pretty bulky gauge sweater with this panel going down the front. I made the contiguous shoulder, top down, completely straight. I had a few decreases in the arms or the sleeves, and that is all the shaping that I did, or that I done. For the arms I just bound off, I didn't do any ribbing, and for the body I did, what can that be, almost 10 centimeters of ribbing, I suppose. It's huge. It's very long. I'm not gonna put it on because it's super warm. I'm happy with it. It's bulky, so it's not the easiest piece to wear, maybe, because it's a little bit bulky, and I just realized I need to take my tea bag out of my tea. I fell so badly in love with a tea this week. It's a chamomile tea, and I've tried, okay, tangent, I've tried some different chamomile tea before, and I've never been able to finish them, even with different flavoring. And I don't know why, but I thought I'd try this tea. It's a chamomile with rose and lavender. And it's so awesome. I just can't stop. So I'm having that over here. It has to cool down a little bit more. Yes, so I finished that, and that is out of, excuse me for leaning out of the picture, that is made out of sjomajlin, maybe, silencio. And that is 50% acrylic, 25% wool, superwash, and 25% alpaca. So it's warm. I needed it on size 8mm needles. My Knit Pro Symphony Wood, or Wood Symphony, something like that. So I finished that. It was almost finished last week, so I didn't do very much on that. I also finished, this is not knitting, but it's knitting related. I had started spinning the second single of this last week. I finished the second single and I plied it, and that was an adventure all on its own. Because I just pulled the single out from the drop spindle, so it was sort of a cone, and it's tangled up horribly. So I had to detangle it, and it took hours. And then, yeah, well, stuff happened, and this took more time than it should have done. But I finished it. It's a 2-ply of natural or undyed, or I don't know the correct word, of Leicester, sort of locally bred to me. Bred, I think that's right though. I'm trying to make it easier to show you. It's a 2-ply. Yeah, it's the thinnest that I've managed to spin so far. I've not spun a lot, so it was, well, yeah, I don't know. I'd say it's fairly even. It's not super, I mean, obviously it's thick and thin in places, but it's not really bad. I'm happy with it. It's 111 or 112, I don't remember, 110 plus grams, and it is, what was it though? Was it 280 something meters? Yeah, I think, yeah, yes it was, yes it was. I'm happy with that. And I used the, whoa, I've used all 3 of my drop spindles, because I made the first single with my first drop spindle that is label-less, I suppose, because I don't remember what it is and doesn't say on it. Super basic drop spindle. And I made the second single on this. It's a shacked. I showed you this last week, but I already had fiber on it, so I couldn't show you. Maybe you can see it says shacked right there. You can use this either as a top whirl or a bottom whirl. That's the right word, right? I always forget to check that, because I always think it I will, and yeah, whatever. I got this in a lovely package in the mail from Doris. Doris, who is a fine cow on Ravelry, and who also has a podcast on YouTube that is called Knit and Purl Podcast, and it's Purl, not the reverse knit stitch spelling, but the normal spelling, I was gonna say. The, well, necklace pearl spelling. Check her out, she is awesome. She sent this to me with some of the stuff that I showed you last week, right? So I made the second single with this, and then I was gonna apply, my idea was to apply it with this as well. But as I said, the single, yeah, stuff happened, so I had to wind the single back on this, and then I had to, and I don't know where I put it. Okay, never mind. So I actually applied it with my Louette spindle that I've talked quite a lot about. So I've used all my 3 spindles in making that yarn. Because that's what happened. Yeah, I'm happy with that yarn. I don't know what I'm gonna make with it, but it's gonna be something. So I finished that, and then whoa, project down. Last week I had finished the capucine hat, and then I don't know, I just felt like, I don't know, I got inspired. So I picked up some scrap, or slightly larger than scrap pieces of yarn out of Svarta Fårets raggsocksgarn, which is the same yarn as I made the capucine hat in, and that I used for my friend's huge socks a couple of weeks ago. So I made 2 little baby hats, just like plain, and then some decreases, and then I knitted a I-cord and just tied a knot, and I think it's pretty cute, and it's pretty tiny. And then I made another one. This is obviously with some ribbing, and I made this without ribbing, so it's gonna roll, and I think that can be pretty cute. And then almost the same top. So I made those just like stash busting type small kind of projects. Yeah, I think some I know these were, and I think the black and the grey also were the same yarn. I think the red was something else, but I don't know, because it was sneeze. It was just some, you know, small yarn balls that I had left, so I finished, or yeah, used it up. Words, come on. And then I finished, I think that I knitted on this, or that this was a work in progress. Yeah, work in progress. I just felt that I said it backwards, like progress in work, but I didn't. I think that it was this that I was working on last week when I recorded. I'm not sure, but I think it was. I finished it anyway. It's from Arne and Carlos' book. I think it's called, because Emma wrote me, or she commented, what did she say? 55 Christmas balls to knit. I think she said that. I think that's what she said the book is called in English. It looks like this. This is in Swedish though, but yeah. So I made that. And then I made this that I really like. And I saw Emma of Chubby Pug Yarn, or Chubby Pug Yarn's podcast even, this week, and she had also made one of these, and I had just finished this when I watched her podcast, so that was funny. She had used gold yarn for the bell, and then red for the well, ribbon. That was pretty, but I've used just red and white. I'll show you the yarn in a minute. And then I made one more of these. I had made one last week, so I made a second one, I promise. It's not just the same. It might be the same one actually that I'm showing you, because I put them next to each other, so I don't know for sure, but I made 2. Promise. And then I just finished the I-cord on this, so I'm just gonna weave in the end and put it so it makes a loop. And it needs a little bit of a massage to get it to get in shape. So I made that one. I made it right now, more or less. And this is out of, in a red and a white, Silja. Let me show you this. Silja. It's a sock yarn. It is Norwegian. And it is superwash, 80% superwash and 20% nylon. So obviously it's a sock yarn, as I said, but it works for other things as well. And are you surprised? I used my short DPN's carbon, Knit Pro Carbons, 2.75 millimeters, because I like them. And I like that they are short when making sort of small stuff in the round. Yeah. I also made, in the same yarn, 2 small improvised socks to go as sort of Christmas ornaments. The red is larger than the white, but they are pretty much the same. Yeah, just small, fun little project. I also made 2 little birds. The pattern is called Bluebird of Happiness, I think, but it is, isn't it? Bluebird of Happiness. I'm pretty sure it is. It's a free Ravelry download, and it's super easy. They are super cute. It's a fast and fun knit that I do recommend. And I made, so I'm thinking these could be like ornaments as well. So I made quite a lot of ornaments this week. And I'm just gonna put this away. Yeah, those were out of the same yarn as well. And then I started a scarf on, I think these are 2.5 millimeters, like regular, no fancy needles at all. This is out of a mustardy color, some ribbing, and then this is a basket something, basket stitch, I'm not sure. I made 10, it's 10 by 10, so 10 stitches, and then for 10 rows, and then I change, so it's stockinette and reverse stockinette. And that is out of, I keep it on the floor, Drops, is it, right? Yeah, Drops Fabel, which is 75% wool and 25% polyamide. And yeah, as I said, sort of a mustardy color. And that is coming along. It's pretty boring because it's nothing. I mean, you have to count, but you don't really have to keep track of it. So it's a little bit more. It takes a little bit more brain power than just being autopilot knitting, because you have to count. But it's not enough to, you know, focus on. So that's right in between easy and interesting. So, but I'm liking how it knits up. I think it's gonna be good. And then I also let me see what time it is. I usually wear glasses, but I don't think I've worn them when I've recorded, because I usually don't wear them in my apartment, because I need them to see far away, and my apartment is tiny. So I don't know why, but I usually just take them off because I don't need them indoors, but I can't see what time it says that it is. I also made Christmas cards this week. I don't know if that is a Swedish thing, but we send Christmas cards, like greeting cards. I hope that is not a Swedish thing. You know, just to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. So I made, I don't think I've ever bought any Christmas cards. I think I've always crafted them. So I'm gonna show you the ones that I made this year, but I want to show you the ones that I made last year and the year before that. So last year I don't have the card still. Oh, let me Can you see, or is it just gleaming? Sort of there, maybe. I had ripped pages out of a book for another, for using the book without, yeah, with like a hole in it, yeah. So I made clouds out of the book pages, and then I had punched with like a, you know, scrapbooking type punch. So I made stars, and then I had embroidery, what do you say, embroidery floss, embroidery thread. And I don't know what I just did here. Well, yeah, embroidery floss or thread anyway. So I made the stars hang off from the clouds, so it kind of looks like snow, and then I just wrote Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's from me on it. And when because I bought a book on a like second-hand store, and I hadn't read it. I just bought a book that looked nice. But as I was making these cards, I realized that the book had some rather explicit adult content. Some of the pages more than others, and I sort of figured that maybe not suitable for Christmas cards. So I had to redo some of them, except for one that I sent to a friend, on which I highlighted all of the explicit words. And he was super happy. But yeah, I think those turned out cute. And the year before I made just a plain card that I wrote Merry Christmas on, and I crocheted those. They're supposed to look like socks, that are crocheted obviously, and the idea was, where I found them, that you could, if you made them in red, it sort of looked like, you know, Santa's helpers socks or something. And if you made them in white and you put, oh, what's the word? Paper clip, like in the bottom of it, it sort of looked like ice skates. So they are super cute. And I made a lot of those and was pretty tired of them when I was done. That was 2 years ago, I believe. So this year I made something a little bit easier. They look like this. I made some red ones and I made some green ones, and they are the same. So I may use some. Oh, and I'm shaking. Hope you can see anyway. I used some stamps. So right here it says God Jul, which is Merry Christmas in Swedish. And then, let me see, straight down it says Gran, which means Christmas tree. And then it says Tomte, which is Santa Claus. And then it says Glädje, which is happiness or joy. And then it says Stjärna, that is star. Then it says ljus, that is light or candle or bright, or yeah, that sort of thing. And then it says klappar, and that is Christmas gifts. So I think that they are, well, not the craftiest thing that I ever made, but it took me quite some time to like find the right, I don't even know the word, stämpel. I have no idea. I just realized I have no idea what that word is. But you know, I guess you know what I mean. You have like a piece and you push it onto an ink pad and then on the paper, and it's, you know what I mean, right? So I made those. So I had a pretty crafty week, and I also what's the word? Oh, I moved some stuff around in my apartment, so I made hopefully a smarter choice of how to store my stuff, and that is also sort of creative, right? I'm thinking quite a lot about creativity, and I think creativity is like the most awesome thing there is. And some people think that you are like, people quite often tell me that they think that I'm creative, and I think that I am. But a lot of people think that you are creative when you're actually making stuff, like if you're knitting stuff. But I think that you can be creative in so many ways, and just like, you know, thinking outside of the box, or seeing patterns, or yeah, there are so many ways to be creative. It doesn't have to be actually making stuff with your hands, even though I think that there is I think that we get like rewards back, not rewards, but I think that we benefit a lot from actually making stuff with our hands, because I think that something happens when we do that. But I think that it's also important to be creative in other ways. And since I'm already rambling about this, I also think that because sometimes you, or at least I, kind of find myself being completely out of inspiration and not knowing at all what I want to do, or what I want to make, or what my next project should be, or anything. And then I kind of find that when that happens to me, I usually find that I'm too focused on actually, like, if it's knitting, I'm too focused on knitting. And maybe I need to, you know, redecorate, or plan, or, you know, do something else that still is creative, and sort of stretch the creative muscle in another direction, and that usually, you know, sort of loosens the tension up. Am I making sense at all? I hope I am. So I've been pretty creative this week, in some ways, and also in some ways, like for making these, I'm just following the pattern. That can be very creative, but it can also be pretty, I'm not gonna say mindless, but because you need to focus, and these are color work, and you need to, you know what you're doing, but it can be like, I don't know, imaginatively unchallenging. Whoa. Did I just make up a word? I don't even know. As I said, I think I might be, I picked up a virus, and I'm feeling a little bit warm. But I'm also feeling good. It's Friday. I'm gonna do... What time is it? Yeah. I just realized I don't know what time it is on the day, but it's cool. I'm good. I'm gonna do this singing gig soon. And then I have the weekend off, and it's gonna be good. And then I'm gonna work half-time next week as well. And I have some more singing jobs to do, and then I have my knit group next week, and then it's just one more week until Christmas, pretty much. I love Christmas so much, so I can't wait. Yeah, I think my plans are, obviously I'm gonna finish this. I have another skein of yarn. I think I'm gonna use, because this that I showed you is, well, there's some left, and then I think I'm gonna use most of the other one as well, so that scarf is pretty long. And then I think I'm gonna make a few more of these Christmas ornaments, a few more birds as well, and excuse me, and these. And then I don't really know. I have a Christmas knit that I want to make, but I don't know what. I have a person that I want to knit for, but I don't know what to make. And I have another person that I sort of maybe want to knit to, but knit for, but I don't know what. And yeah, we'll see, because time is sort of running out as well. And I'm not still working on. I have the elder tree shawl still. It's sort of on hiatus, I think. Because I haven't really felt inspiration to pick it up. And I've told you before, I think that that is unusual for me. Because I usually sort of get stressed out over knowing that something is just lying around not getting worked on. So I've never really had that, because I can't stand it. So I'm finding it sort of almost a little bit adventurous to have that shawl sitting in its baskets. I have these sort of baskets for my projects. So I have the shawl and the yarn and the pattern sitting in its basket, and I know it's there, but it's not stressing me out. So I want to finish it, I do, but I also want to sort of try how far I can go, because this is new to me. That might sound super weird, but it's a bit interesting for me, actually. Yeah, so I mean I have stuff to do, but I don't really know what my next, because these my next cast on will probably be one of these, or a bird, or another small sock, but they are pretty small, pretty fast projects that, you know, they're pretty small projects. So I don't know what my next slightly bigger project is gonna be. I'll have to think about that. I do have the yarn for the Lado sweater, and I really want to make that, but maybe not before Christmas. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say this week. Or is it something else, like personal, I want to tell you? No, I talked a little bit about that I started working again, and it's been a bit overwhelming, but not as bad as I kind of thought it would be. Or as bad, but yeah, as, I don't know. I feel pretty good, except for, well, this that is going on inside of my nose and my throat right now, but and I'm still very tired. I have trouble with my sleep, or I sleep fine when I fall asleep, but I have really big problems with falling asleep, and then I have really big problems waking up in the morning as well. So I'm working on that. I talked to I don't know what it is. It's not a therapist, it's not a psychologist, it's maybe sort of a counselor. And we talked a little bit about this, and she said that, I mean, she gave me some good advice, but then she said, like, the sort of general rule is that you can only make one change at a time, sort of. So as I started working this week, that is a pretty big change for me right now. So I should not try to, you know, stress out over not being able to work on my sleeping pattern or what have you, because that is too much of a change at one time. Even though I need my sleep, but I'm getting enough. I mean it's not bad, but it should be better. And yeah, that makes sense. So I'll try to just take it easy, and, well, at least I'm resting, so I'm working on that without stressing out over it. Yeah, I don't know, because I've told you before that I think that, at least here in Sweden, we are being too silent about stuff that is important, about mental health, and yeah, that area of being human. and I refuse to be part of that silence. So yeah, but I don't really know what to say either. So, well, it is what it is. I'm struggling somewhat, but not as bad as I don't know, as some other do, or that I kind of thought that I would. But I feel pretty good. I think my meds are starting to help, and I'm really trying to be kind to myself, and that is really helping. And then I have some people to support me, and that is important, and I think that is also really helping. Once again, if you are feeling, you know, if you have some issues, whatever it might be, do something about it. Because it's so important to be nice to yourself and take care of yourself. So please do that. Yeah. Ugh, my nose is itching. Yeah. I'm tired. I don't really know what to say. And I've been speaking for a while now. So feel free to follow me on Instagram. I'm sjomajlin. Feel free to befriend me. Feel free to be my friend on Ravelry. I'm sjomajlin there as well. Please feel free to join. Feel free to join the group, and feel free to use the threads or to start new threads if you want to. If there is something that is, you know, not inappropriate. And be kind to yourselves. Please be kind to yourselves and be kind to one another. Take care of each other, support the people in your life that need support, and ask for support when you need support. And that's a lot of support. Do have an awesome weekend if you watch this when it's close to the weekend, and do have an awesome week after that. And yeah, that's it. Be awesome. Create something beautiful. Creativity is amazing. That's it. Bye.